When most people imagine early medieval England, they picture armored knights and grand castles. The reality of 900 AD is far quieter and more cruel. You wake before the sun, shivering in damp clothes, standing in freezing mud. Power in this harsh world flows strictly downward. Out of every 10 people alive in this era, roughly 8 or 9 exist entirely at the bottom of the social ladder. Look at this diagram of a medieval estate. Notice the locked boundaries around the fields, pastures, and the woods. The vast majority of the population are serfs. You are not legally a slave to a person, but you are entirely bound to this specific piece of land. You cannot leave, and you cannot sell your labor anywhere else. This obligation is written into memorial records, and it is permanent. If your father was a serf, you are a serf. Every child you have automatically inherits the exact same lifetime debts to the local lord. Survival requires navigating a rigid hierarchy engineered specifically to extract your labor. That legal trap is only the first of many threats. Your year is not measured in months. It is measured in grueling physical tasks: plowing in the spring, weeding in the summer, harvesting in the fall, and repairing fences through the winter. The labor begins at first light and does not stop until dark. The tools you rely on are incredibly primitive. This image shows a collection of rusted iron sickle blades from the era. They dull quickly, require immense physical effort to use, and there are no machines or animals strong enough to replace you. Look closely at these laid-out skeletal remains. Archaeologists examining these long bones and joints find clear signs of intense wear, compressed spines, and healed fractures. This is the physical toll of endless agricultural work. By your 30s, your body is already breaking down. Even drinking water is a daily risk. Rivers and shallow wells serve as communal dumping grounds for human and animal waste. Without any understanding of bacteria, a simple drink from the local stream often leads to dysentery or typhoid. And the bread you eat hides an even stranger danger. This close-up shows ergot, a dark, elongated fungus that emerges directly from the stalk of rye. When ground into flour, it disappears entirely into the bread. Eating it causes agonizing muscle spasms, severe gangrene where fingers and toes physically fall away, and intense hallucinations. Villagers watch their neighbors scream in pain and mistake the violent outbreaks for divine punishment. The wealthy face entirely different, invisible dangers. This is a green, lead-glazed ceramic cup. Nobles use vessels like this to display their status, unaware that the lead is slowly leaching into their wine, causing severe memory loss, confusion, and gradual brain damage. Eating, drinking, and simply doing your job are constant gambles. Basic biological needs frequently result in a sudden, violent end. Returning home offers no real safety. These reconstructed early medieval wooden houses feature thick, overhanging thatched roofs. They are built cheaply and packed tightly together, making nearby fires a constant, lethal hazard. There are no chimneys. The smoke from your hearth fire gathers low in the single room, stinging your eyes and slowly damaging your lungs over years of cold winters. To survive the freezing temperatures, you bring your livestock inside to sleep alongside your family. Their warmth keeps you alive, but their waste fills the dirt floor, introducing a thriving ecosystem of fleas, lice, and disease-carrying rats. The walls may block the freezing rain, but the interior acts as an incubator for illness. You trade the lethal exposure of the outdoors for a highly concentrated biological trap. The macro systems of the era demand absolute submission. Look at this medieval manuscript illumination showing a monk kneeling directly before the skeletal figure of death. The Church explains famine and illness strictly as God's will. Questioning your suffering is considered an unforgivable sin. When you break the rules, the law responds with immense cruelty. Justice is executed publicly in village squares, through branding, mutilation, and the stocks. The broken human body is displayed as a physical warning to the community. If you are accused of a serious crime, you face trial by ordeal. You might be forced to carry a red-hot iron or plunge your hand into boiling water. Your guilt or innocence is determined purely by how cleanly those severe wounds healed days later. For women, the margins of survival are entirely dictated by these rules. Religious doctrine demands obedience, tying a woman's identity completely to her husband, while she manages endless, back-breaking household labor. The heaviest burden comes from childbirth. In a world with no antiseptics, no doctors, and no understanding of infection, every pregnancy is a physical gamble where neither experience nor obedience guarantees survival. The overarching rules of society promise spiritual and legal protection. In practice, they create an inescapable web of physical and psychological control. Even if you play by the rules, biology often wins early. This archaeological excavation shows a small human skeleton resting beside dark ceramic bowls. The statistical reality is grim. Roughly 1 out of every 3 children dies before reaching the age of 5 from waterborne diseases, malnutrition, or simple infections. If you survive to adulthood, your local lord can summon you to war at any time. You are not a trained soldier. You are a farmer handed a spear, pulled away from the fields exactly when your crops need you most. The violence often arrives without warning. Sea raiders appear from the ocean, striking coastal villages in sudden raids. They steal the stored food, burn the thatched homes, and carry away the people. You can perfectly navigate the dangers of your home, your diet, and your society, only for the unpredictable chaos of the outside world to erase your entire community in a single afternoon. How does a society actually function under these incredibly crushing conditions? By every modern metric, this fragile world should collapse. The answer is adaptation. People lower their expectations to the absolute floor. Living past the age of 40 is celebrated as a miraculous, complete life. Hope scales down to the immediate present. It is defined as a harvest that doesn't rot in the field, a winter that doesn't freeze the livestock, a child who simply wakes up healthy the next morning. The history of this era is rarely found in the deeds of armored elites. It's found in the stubborn endurance of peasants working the mud. The true heroism of the Dark Ages is not found in grand battles or royal conquests. It is ordinary people facing a harsh world engineered to destroy them and choosing every single day not to vanish.